Hi, I am Dr. Ben Newman, and this is Ask Dr. Ben, where I'm going to try to answer your questions from my experience as a coronavirus researcher for the last 25 or so years. So next question is from Joyce. How you doing, Joyce? Let's see. Hi, Dr. Ben. Thank you for keeping us informed. Hey, I try. Let's see. My question is: my mom lives overseas. Gotcha. She got 2 doses of the Sinovac vaccine. Okay, and that is one of the ones that is inactivated. So they take a whole bunch of live SARS-CoV-2, purify it very carefully, inactivate it very thoroughly, and then inject it. It seems like it ought to be the best vaccine because it has all the proteins from the virus. You got your spike, you got your M, and you got your N protein. Those are the 3 main ones that we make an immune response to, and they are abundant in the little virus particle, the little spiky ball. Turns out it's not such a great vaccine. So one of the things that seems to make the other vaccines better is that they are using a modified version of the virus spike protein. And remember, the spike's the thing that sticks out on the outside of the virus, the pink things and that drawing that everybody uses, which is wildly inaccurate. um, so you can actually go in and you can stabilize the spike. If you make a couple little changes sort of in the middle of the spike protein, they don't alter the way your immune system sees it, but they make it much more stable, much easier to present, much easier for cells to make. And it's just basically levels up how effective the vaccine is. I believe the Sinovac is using the regular ordinary version of the spike because it has to have all its parts working and fully functional. And what they're doing in stabilizing the spike is actually changing some of the working parts that would normally get cut or normally change shape, and they're just kind of locking them in so that they look just perfect, like the original version of the spike, pre-activation, pre-everything, but they can't change. They're like a beautiful marble statue of the virus. You know, you got a perfect image, but it's not going to do anything. Okay, so I got the Sinovac back in March and April, and 2 doses. So yeah, that's good. Sinovac has turned out to be, actually both of the Chinese inactivated vaccines have turned out to be less effective overall than anything else that people are using. They're kind of at the border for where it's like not really a good vaccine and just barely a good vaccine. I would say they're on the just barely a good vaccine side. Definitely better than nothing. Yeah, if that's what you have access to, then I'd take it. Yeah, for sure. But it looks as though they are a good peg or two lower than the mRNA vaccines, for example. Look as though they are top of the list in all the studies that I've seen. So would it be okay for her to take a Pfizer or Moderna vaccine when she comes to visit me in the summer? Now, there's a question. From a scientific point of view, taking a vaccine on top of a vaccine, and particularly these 2 mRNA vaccines, is a good way to get massive amounts of immunity. So if we're taking that super simplistic view that immunity is what you want and need, then yeah, I see the scientific case for that. That is definitely a your doctor question, though. I don't know of any reason why that wouldn't be all right. From a scientific point of view, there are people who have been vaccinated far more than 3 times, and they make amazing immune responses, but generally, like at some point, there's going to be a limit, and you don't want to get maybe 20 vaccines of the same thing in a day, because that's just really giving you a very large dose. But spaced out, April, several months apart, it's probably just going to be a booster at that point, and the purpose of a booster is to get your immunity boosted. And so I think, scientific perspective, that's what it would do, and I think it would be fine. And I think your mother would end up with heroic levels of neutralizing antibody and killer T cells that are just ready to fight and ready to fight for you, for her. Yeah, they don't care about you though. Her T cells. So yeah, run it past the doctor, but scientifically, yeah, I think there's a case. All right, so fine. Not medical advice. Do not take this as medical advice, please. And thank you very much. This has been Ask Dr. Ben.